Hi guys. I got a very auspicious question that I'm I was skeptical about having this discussion, but you know what? A question is a question, and I'm going to answer it the best way that I can possibly answer it. Anyway, the question is, was I married to a black man, and how did how did our cultures coincide? Or another question that I was asked was, did I actually get along with my in-laws? So here goes. Yes, I was married to a black man. Actually, he was my friend first. Actually, he was not my friend first. He was actually the agent of the flat that I was living in Midrand. And that's how we met, because he was the agent and I was living at the flat. And when the owner of the flat wanted to sell, then I got first preference, and that's how I met him, right? And so I was his client, and then years had went by, and as time passed, I was actually dating someone at the time, right? And he would come there and he would get along with my sons. My son, who is now 13 years old, and the other one who's now 16, is gonna be 17 this year. But he would come there, and whenever they would have his family functions, then he would bring snacks and stuff for the kids, right? And so I didn't have any problem with that. I actually was not even looking to be dating anyone at the time. So years it went by, and things for me had fallen apart. I broke up with the guy that I was dating, and he was my friend. Then we became friends, and he would come and visit me every now and then. And he was always checking up on me, man. He was always calling me, always checking up on me, always checking up on the kids. And I didn't see a problem with that, right? Then there was the question was, did I get along with my in-laws, right? You know what? I came from my first marriage. I was married to an Indian, then a Muslim, and we had a lot of indifference. And I just learned from that relationship that I just gotta draw some boundaries with my in-laws. So I tried my best to stay away from them. And plus, they were black. There was a lot of indifference, right? Because number one, I never spoke their language. In the beginning stages, I never understood them. I never spoke the language, right? And then it got to a point where I started speaking their language, Setswana. And there came many occasions where I would hear them speaking about me, and because they were so used to me not knowing the language, that eventually when I learned the language and I started understanding what they were saying about me, one day I confronted this Mama Zala, this mother-in-law of mine, and I said to her, you know what, can you please not talk about my kids? Like, can you please just stop talking about my kids? I don't like it. I don't appreciate it and whatever. I heard you were on your power hour call, and I just could no longer take it. Can you please just stop talking? And she was like, Rizwana, so you now hear what I said? I said, of course I hear what you're saying. So then she asked me, what did I say? And then I told her like exactly what she said, right? That is where the friction began between her and I. Because then I understood what she was saying. And then I like sort of shut myself off from even wanting to speak the language with any of them. All right. And then it was my sister-in-laws. Yeah, I never got very along with those people. I put my whole heart into them, and I will always find them talking about me. I will always find them having something skinnerig to say about me, right? So, and then it just escalated to a point where I just thought, you know what, you guys, if you're treating me this way, then you know what, I'm just gonna stay away. And I just started staying away from them. And at some point I thought, for the sake of the kids, I'm just gonna get along with them. But then I thought, you know what, why for the sake of the kids? Because it's not like they even care about my kids in the first place. Honestly, I'm being very honest. Because I mean, if they care about your kids, they're gonna call your kids, they're gonna check on your kids, they're gonna inquire about your kids. Like till today, I'm divorced now from this man, and there's no communication. The aunts are living their own lives. My mom-in-law, she's living her own life. This other day, we ended up together. We went to his aunt, one of the mother sisters, actually both of the mother sisters. We went to their house. Guys, it was so scandalous because, oh, it was very scandalous. Because then, yeah, we are in the process of a divorce, right? And then now we broke up there, the whole family is together, and we look like everything's fine. Honestly, we behave like everything's fine also. And this is not a front, it's not an act. I'm not being fake about it. Like, we get along, my ex and I, we get along better now than ever before. And I mean it, than ever before. Like, we never got along this well before. So we never got along, guys. Even now, we don't actually get along. I think before we were just tolerating each other. But then I'll tell you, his aunts, they never liked me from the word go. Because I already had kids before I got married to him. And they were like, yeah, just like that. My biggest problem, my flop, was that I fell in love with him. And I didn't see past anything else. I didn't see past anything else. It was like, then I just realized I was just this toy ornament thing, rich and whatever. And I thought, let me just give this whole thing a try, whatever. So I come from a very, very multiracial home, colored. My mother's Indian. I am who I am. I'm mixed, very mixed. Yeah, I wasn't gonna talk about the races, like the racial conflicts or the racial indifferences, but you know what? It's very different, guys. I don't want to say anything contradicting Indian or contradicting black people, but you know what? I think the best thing I think the best thing is to just stick to your race, guys. Because you know what? When you get involved with your race, you know what to expect and you know what not to expect. And then you also know there are certain things that you're going to do and there are certain things that he's going to do. Somewhere, somehow, you're going to come together. I promise you. When you're on that level. Now, let's just assume now you get involved with a different race. You've got to learn that race. You've got to learn that culture. You've got to learn a lot of things that are different. Many things are different, guys. And then you go now and you have kids together. So yeah, guys, then you go and you have kids together. Beautiful kids. I got beautiful kids, right? They are... I had two daughters with him, right? And they are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it becomes a challenge. It becomes a challenge because now you got kids and you're not really getting along with the family and you don't really want to force things. I don't want to force things. I don't ever want to force anything anymore, because I forced for this thing to stay together for a long way. You just want to say, stick to your race, guys. The best thing you can do is just stick to your race. Okay, you're not gonna hurt anyone, nobody's gonna get hurt. You're just gonna stick to your race. Even your kids, they won't have any cultural indifferences, they won't have any heritage issues. Like, yeah, there will be some heritage issues in my family now, because there are a lot of things that I did when they were born, like the hair removal after 3 days, and the bearing of the navel, and like there's a lot of stuff that I did. My daughter, the first one, when she was born, she cried a lot. I had to take her to the graveyard. My mom, I had to go burn some stuff there because of culture indifference. And you know what? I'm trying to teach them, and I'm trying to expose them to as many religious beliefs and cultural beliefs that I possibly can. And if I were just one culture and one race, and there were no indifferences the way that we are right now, then I wouldn't have to expose them to many different things. They would just be exposed to one culture. Like, let me just give you an example. Christianity. They would just be exposed to Christianity. But then now, the man, he was Hare Krishna. He was a Hare Krishna devotee, and he believed in Krishna consciousness. And my kids are aware of Krishna consciousness. They are aware of the Diwali celebration. They're aware of Christmas. They're aware of Eid. Like, I expose them to a lot of things, because even their brothers are Muslim. My oldest sons, they're both Muslim. So in that family, I had to get along with everyone, because we lived together. My ex-mother-in-law and we had to get along. We didn't get along very well anyway. But then, you know what? The best thing that I can say is, do the best that you can as a person to get along with the other people in the family. It's just the right thing to do, I think. All right. But then, as for me, it didn't work out, because I came from a past where I had history with my mom-in-law, and then, yeah, there were a lot of indifferences. So avoid the whole scene. Stick to your race. Thanks for watching. Ciao.